Alright everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS preseason video. Going to be touching on the top picks for the Sunday slate. So we're going to start out with Kansas City versus the Saints. Okay, and really the biggest question that I have in this game is the hype with Justine Ross actually real? Okay, we've seen with Jason Brownlee that is not exactly the case. You know, a decent maybe practice squad player. We'll see what the situation is with Ross. And for those of you guys that do not know, he has been really the center of a lot of Kansas City Chiefs hype videos this preseason, and this is a good reason as to why. Okay, I get it, and we'll see. I'm excited to watch him play. That being said, it could easily be one of those situations where we look back on it and he's like chalky, because he does have the potential to be too chalky, and be like, oh, that was probably an easy fade. Although, you know, I'll probably be playing him a decent amount. Another thing that we do know is that the starters are going to play about a full quarter, so to me that gives Patrick Mahomes a great opportunity to score a touchdown. Okay, if you guys want to chase that, you certainly could. Obviously, if we get a touchdown, that probably means he's probably going to score around 7 to 10 points. There is nothing wrong with that. The issue is that we worry about his upside. You know, we're probably missing out on a quarterback play that has the potential to do maybe 12, 15 points. Although not a terrible idea, I would say. From there, we do know that Isaiah Pacheco is going to be out on this one. So that does leave some opportunity for us at the running back position. And there's one that I like the most. It's going to be Prince. And if we look at the running back room, it is already kind of thin. You got Jerick McKinnon there. No sense in getting him too much work. CEH, he actually, I could see him being a candidate to getting some work as well. But then we got the rookie here, Prince, kind of expected to get a lot of run in the second half. There's also going to be someone that's going to get some work on special teams. So certainly someone we can look at. For now, I've been penciled in as someone I want to go in on. And then we also do have the former Jet, LaMichael Pirine, just kind of another name. I don't think he's someone that we need to be targeting necessarily in preseason though. Then looking at the receiver position for the Chiefs, I already mentioned Justine Ross, probably something that we do want to be on. I don't mind him. There's another rookie that is actually getting a decent amount of hype as well, Nico here. You know, if you want to roll with him, you certainly can. I wouldn't blame you. Maybe just one-off situations. I would say if there was an opportunity for us to stack a quarterback, we would want to do that. Although I don't think we're going to have that. We got Mahomes playing about a quarter. That means Blaine Gabbert maybe a quarter and a half, and then Shane here as well, maybe about a quarter and a half. They're all players that can produce, but in terms of like stackability, I just don't really see that. There is maybe the potential for some tight end value. You got the former Rams tight end Blanton, Blake Bell, I don't mind, Noah Gray. Like those are all just okay shoulder shrug type tight end plays. Let's go ahead and move on into the Saints. So for the Saints, we do know that the starters are going to play. The question that I have is how much are they going to play? Because we don't know that just yet. We know that obviously it's going to be probably no more than a quarter of play. The only team that let their starters play a little bit further was the Denver Broncos, because they just had some sloppy tail ends of their drives. It was pretty clear that they wanted to get a good drive in. But really, where we're going to get our best opportunity in terms of DFS is going to be at the running back position, because they have a lack of depth at the running back position, which means that honestly the tight end and receiver room is pretty deep. So it's going to be tough to really dial down which ones we should be on. Let's go and touch on the running back room. So on paper, it might seem like they have a lot of players, but we know that Alvin Kamara is suspended. But what does that mean for his playing time in preseason? We have actually seen that lead to these type of players actually getting a little bit more time in the preseason than they would normally because they're suspended. And I'm not sure if he has to be away from the team while he's suspended, because that would kind of change the scenario. I think he'd be more likely to get a little bit extra additional run if they are actually playing their starters. Now, I think there might be an exception for maybe him and maybe Michael Thomas. We will see. That being said, Jamal Williams probably going to get some work, obviously. Then we got the two rookie running backs. I want to point out that these two players are going to be tight ends. Okay, so they really just have Miller, Merriweather, Jamal Williams, and Alvin Kamara. That's 4. Maybe these two get the first half, and then these two will get the second half. Condre Miller's going to be the one that everyone I think is going to be excited about. And really, the Saints probably want to get a good look at them, especially Miller. They already tried to bring in Kareem Hunt, which obviously that's not a good thing, I would say, but maybe it puts together a good game and kind of tells them, hey, we don't need to bring in Kareem Hunt. I got you guys. We'll see. Certainly someone I think we should be looking at in our player pool, just due to the fact that opportunities, there should be opportunities there. And then same thing for Merriweather, a player that I really like as well. Now, we don't know the game script. I mean, it is still NFL. It is still football. Game script does matter. They could be out of the game, or he could be getting a lot of garbage time carries as well. You know, we don't really know. But at the same time, probably a fourth quarter play. Still not a terrible play. I think Miller would be the preferred play, and then Merriweather. Do want to call out the receivers. Like I said, it is kind of a deep receiver room because they have a lack of depth at the RB position. They have a bunch of decent kind of second team guys. James Washington being one of those. Brian Edwards being one of those. Kiki Cutie being another one of those. Lynn Bowden. A lot of interesting names, I would say. Like, all those are kind of proven good enough NFL players that are really trying to get the 4th, 5th receiver spot. It's a very interesting situation, I would say there. But one player that's kind of been standing out a little bit is A.T. Perry. And he was kind of an impressive college receiver, but he has been someone that has been drawing some attention in camp. And he is kind of that slot receiver type that I like because, we can kind of get some cheap, easy receptions there. So not a player that I would say we're necessarily going out of our way to play, but still not a terrible play. Do want to point out that there is a good chance that like Jameis Winston is just going to be a really good play. We have seen a weird tendency though this preseason where these third string guys, these younger guys are kind of getting a little bit more work than I would have expected, like a full half of football. And so I could see that happen. I think it'd be kind of worth maybe putting him in 10%, maybe putting Jameis Winston in to a lineup builder about 10% as well. So now moving on to the next game, we got the Niners versus the Raiders. The nice thing about the Niners is we know that they are going to be playing both Trey Lance and Sam Darnold about a half each. We got that information. Makes it a little bit easier on us, okay? The thing that worries me is that they did say about a half. That's the worry. They still have Brandon Allen there, who is a decent third string practice squad quarterback. So he will probably get some reps. So that's where about a half is coming in because they probably want to get a little bit of a look at Brandon Allen. Now, that being said, I do think Trey Lance is probably the preferred option, just given the fact that you guys will see there's not that many pass catchers that I want to be on for the Niners. And what is the nice thing about Trey Lance? He has that rushing upside. So we could play him because of that rushing upside and not have to worry about trying to stack him. That's kind of the easy part about it. But obviously, Sam Darnold going against third and fourth stringers in the second half is highly intriguing to me. Okay. Matt Barkley just tore up third and fourth stringers. Okay. These guys that are kind of proven vets, they're not terrible. They're not great. I actually think Sam Darnold's really not that bad. I think he could be the QB1 for Tampa. It's kind of a weird situation there. And he's battling for kind of a roster spot. Here it's weird. So I like both of them firmly. I think those are going to be the two priority quarterbacks that we're going out of our way to play. From there, Danny Gray. He's going to be a receiver that's getting a lot of hype again this year. He got a lot of hype last year. He's a speedy receiver. They want to get him involved in the offense. Really, all it takes is one big play. That's really why you're playing him, is for one big play. Typically I like to go with those reception-based plays. That's not him. We're hoping for a big play. And I do want to call it the rookie tight ends. Apparently, the tight ends for the Niners have been. So what does that really mean? We know they have Ross Dwelley. We know who he is as a player. And then we got these two rookies. Like, what do we do with them? They apparently have been struggling. So I don't know. Like, they're probably going to be on the field a lot. The one that I actually might like a little bit more is Troy Fumagalli, the former Badger tight end, who, battled a lot of injuries at the start of his career, has since been injury free for a little bit. I have been struggling to find some like strong tight end plays. Like, it's really just, we want to try to find, I think, a tight end to go with our quarterback. And he's kind of the one I've just been defaulting to right now. And I'm not saying like he should be chalk or anything like that. That is just I call a lot of plays like shoulder shrug plays, where if you end up on them to close out your build, you kind of just shrug your shoulders and you're like, yeah, that's all right. That's fine. That's him as a play. But yes, looking at, I think they both make sense. I mean, honestly, probably going 40% Trey Lance, 40% Sam Darnold, and calling it a day, and then just filling in with the other quarterbacks already mentioned. But looking at the running back room, it is kind of an interesting situation because we have two fullbacks here. Elijah Mitchell, probably don't expect him to play. CMC, why would he play that much? Jordan Mason, really a good player. Like, he is a good running back. I want to see him play. I'm excited to see him play. But the question I have is, how many carries will he get? Like, that's the issue. Davis Price, how many carries will he get? They got Jeremy McNichols, who I feel like at this point in his career, there's no sense of getting him a ton of work, like a really good look. You kind of know what you have in him by now. And then we have the rookie from Marshall. I haven't really seen that much hype on him, but obviously it's a rookie for the Niners. Always kind of interesting there. If I had to say, I'd be Jordan Mason 1, probably Davis Price, and then the rookie LeBourne. But I don't know if we need to do that. Then yes, I mentioned Danny Gray. He's kind of the one I've been defaulting to a little bit. Just obviously hoping for that big upside play. Chris Conley, a veteran, if he gets some playing time, it's tough to imagine him not having a good day. Same thing with Willie Snead. Like, those two are proven veterans at this point. If you got Sam Darnold throwing to those two, it's a recipe for success, I would say. Now let's go ahead and get to the Raiders, because feel like that's going to be our best opportunity for some of these position plays that we want to be on. Now, I will say there's kind of a lack of clarity right now as it sits in terms of news that's coming out of Raiders camp in terms of playing time. That being said, in years past, the Patriots were extremely easy to predict. They were a team that really loved to run the football, and that was a lot due to Josh McDaniels. And then we saw last year that ended up occurring as well. So I think the assumption is that they're going to go RB heavy again, run the clock out, thus maybe the defense is going to be a good option as well. The question is, which running back do we want to go with? The theme when he was in New England was to give a bad running back, a practice squad running back, a lot of work. And so to me, that guy is Britton Brown. And he was someone that got used a decent amount last preseason. So I'll just go back and look at the game logs. This was game 4. They played in the Hall of Fame game last year. Britton Brown got 11 carries in that one, had a touchdown. Okay, it's a good start there. In the third game, Britton Brown had 9 carries and 70 yards. Okay. In their second game, Britton Brown had 14 carries and a touchdown. And then in the first game, it was a little bit different because it was the Hall of Fame game. I don't know. It seemed like he wanted to prove a point to the team or whatnot because Josh Jacobs played in that game. It was very weird. Zamir White ended up getting 10 carries. Austin Walter, though, a guy that's kind of a practice squad based player, got 8 carries, 49 yards, and a touchdown. 33 carries, though, okay? 39 carries. On 25 and 30, right? That tells us all we need to know right there. And another thing I want to point out, because they carried the football so much, all those games were very low scoring. So it's one of those weird situations where you could easily, I shouldn't say easily, you could play their quarterback going against the defense and maybe be okay with it. That actually worked out for me on the early slate today. God, just talking about it. I was a Mason Kinsey fingertip catch in the end zone away from taking down a GPP. Freaking Malik Willis just missed him. It was a tough play to make, but I got excited real quick when I saw that target go to him off the finger, unfortunately. But my point there was that I believe I had the defense in that game as well. So I had Willis as my quarterback, and that was Bears D. Oh, there's so many games going on as the team I ran it back with. So you can get away with it, especially on a small 2-game slate is my point. But yeah, I would say probably Britton Brown again this year. Austin Walter on the IR. Josh Jacobs not expected to play. Like, yeah, we can get some of Zamir White. Probably does want to get a good look at him. Amir Abdullah. I would actually say if Josh Jacobs were to miss time, it could actually be Amir Abdullah getting some work. And then they also have Brandon Bolden there. Just a good player to have there. But to me, it's Britton Brown. It does stress me out a little bit because I haven't heard any news on him in camp. And I do think he sucked, but hey, it is what it is. Looking at the receiver room, okay, I do want to point out that it does seem like they bought in Wilkerson just to kind of fit that role, okay? And he was the backup to Jacoby Myers. They do have Philip Dorsett there, though, who's kind of a similar player. And they also have Hunter Renfrow. They have 3 players who just are good at getting open. And I also would say Wilkerson is going to be that guy as well. I bring him up because he is someone I could actually see having another good preseason. He was a guy that's had good preseasons in the past. He just knows how to get open. He's the worst version of Jacoby Myers. I like him. It is risky. It's very risky, I will say. But like, I don't love that many receiver plays, so I don't mind kind of forcing that in there. And maybe if we want to, we could even go Zamir White at the running back position as well here. Just trying to close out a build for you guys. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. Just want to remind you guys of the promo code that I have going on the website. Use the promo code playoffs to get 50% off your first month membership at 9 to 5 Sports. This is going to be for new members only. This promo is going up until the Tour Championship on the golf schedule. I do a lot of fantasy golf advice. So make sure to check that out. If you guys are thinking, all right, well, you said fantasy golf, what does that have to do with NFL DFS? I also have NFL DFS props-based content out there. You guys can use the NFL DFS lineup optimizer that I've been putting my own projections into. So take advantage of that. 50% off. It's a $10 membership. Get it for $5. That's going to be all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. If you did, you know what to do. Give that like and subscribe. Let's have a good slate. And as always, let's keep cashing. Struggling.